Good day to everyone. For our topic, learning competency number 3, molding models through earth science. Once again, this is Sir J, your digital English teacher. Right now, we are talking about models by knowing earth science. For our learning competency for this week, we have to use models appropriately. We are familiar with models, but the question is, can we use those models in appropriate form or in appropriate situation? So right now, we will give clarification to the usage and meaning of models. To achieve the competency, let's have learning objectives. Number one, to identify the meaning of modal verbs. It is very important to know first the meaning of each modal verbs and then distinguish the uses of modal verbs. After knowing the meaning and identifying the uses, let's have supply appropriate modal verbs in a given sentences. To apply modal verbs in real life, you have to create a tagline or campaign about disaster preparedness using appropriate modal verbs. By experiencing or mastering these objectives, we will achieve the competency needed for this week. Before we start to our lesson proper, let us test your skills or let's have a pretest. I will give you a couple of minutes or you may pause this video for a while to answer these questions. Number one, you blank brush your teeth 3 times a day. Letter A, should. Letter B, shall. Letter C, would. And letter D, will. Number 2, I blank like to acknowledge his presence. Letter A, must. B, would. C, could. D, shall. Number 3, blank you be mine. A, may. B, shall. C, should. D, will. Number 4, good morning. Blank we start our meeting. A, will. B, have to. C, ought to. D, shall. Number 5, I blank admit that I still love you. A, will. B, should. C, ought to. D, must. Okay, you may start answering now. Okay, class, I hope that you got the correct answer. For number 1, it is A, should. You should brush your teeth 3 times a day. Number 2, it is letter B, would. I would like to acknowledge his presence. Number 3, it is will. Will you be mine? Number 4, shall. Good morning. Shall we start our meeting? Number 5, must. I must admit that I still love you. I hope that you got it correct. Let's have the next one. Okay, for the second part, number 6, this modal verb is used to state advice. A, will. B, should. C, ought to. Or D, must. 7, this modal verb is used to state future action and promises. A, will. B, should. C, ought to. Or D, must. Number 8, this modal verb is used to express ability. A, would. B, can. C, may. Or D, must. 9, this modal verb is used to state possibility in a greater chance. A, will. B, can. C, may. Or D, might. Number 10, this modal verb is used to state urgency. A, will. B, should. C, could. Or D, must. Okay, class, I give you a couple of seconds or you may pause this video for a while to answer the second part of the pretest. Timer starts now. I hope that you got the correct answer. Let us check. Number 6, B, should. Should is used to state advice. 7, A, will. Will is used to state future action and promises. Remember that. Number 8, it is can. We use can to express ability. And number 9, it is may. When we are stating possibility in a greater chance, that is modal may. And last one, must. Must is used to state urgency. I hope that you got all the correct answers. Okay, so let us engage the lesson. I have here a question. What is the difference between these two sentences? Number 1, she may love me. And number 2, she might love me. Okay, I give you time to think, and then later on, we will see what's the difference between she may love me and she might love me. To make it clear to everyone, we have our core definition. When we are talking about modal verbs, it is used to express ability, possibility, permission, or obligation. Modal verb may act as an auxiliary verb, a verb that precedes the main verb in a sentence. It is commonly used helping verbs such as is, are, am, was, were, etc. Be careful on using modals because it may change the meaning of the sentence. Since we are clear with the definition of modal verbs, let's have usage. I have here 3 columns, one for modal. We have can, could, may, might, must, and then the usage of those modals, followed by example. For can is used to express ability or lack of ability. Again, we're using can to express ability or lack of ability. Example, in space, astronauts can't cry properly because of the zero gravity. It portrays the lack of ability to cry. The modal can't. How about the modal could? Modal could also express ability or lack of ability but in a past form, and then it portrays less capability than modal can. We have here example, 13 times in a century, Mercury could be observed from the Earth passing across the face of the Sun in an event called transit. The modal could is used to portray ability to be observed in the past, and also there is a slight capability that we could see or we can see the Mercury from the Earth. Third one, we have may. May is for certainty. Can and could is for ability, but may is for certainty in a greater chance, or when we are using polite requests. We have here example, Jupiter has a diameter of 139,822 square kilometers. It may be seen easily using a telescope. Since Jupiter is the largest planet, there is a greater chance to see it using telescope. That is why we use modal may. The opposite of may is modal might. It also portrays certainty but in a lesser chance. I have here example. Only 1 or 2 meteors reach the surface of the Earth per day. We might see them. As you can see, we use the modal verb might, not may, because there is a lesser chance of seeing one or two meteors. And for the last one, for this slide, we have modal mass. Mass is for obligation or urgency. For example, Earth is the only planet where humans live. We must take care of our planet. As you can see, we use the modal verb must to portray obligation or urgency as Earth citizen. This is our main responsibility to take care of our planet. That is why we have to use must. For our second set of modals, we have shall, should, will, and would. Shall. The usage of modal shall is for asking permission in a formal way or formal setting. And it is for future action. Let's have example. Shall we begin our lesson about space? As you notice, the writer or the speaker in this sentence is asking permission in a formal way to begin the lesson about space. And then we have future action, I shall return. We all know this quotation. This is the famous line of General Douglas MacArthur. Next is should. We use should when we are stating advice or recommendation. Example, astronauts should manage danger and do delicate tasks at the same time. In the sentence, the writer or speaker is telling advice to astronauts that they have to manage danger and do delicate tasks at the same time. Third one, we have will. Aside from it is for future action, will is for stating promises or prediction. And will, in compared to shall, will is more on casual way, but shall is more on formal way. Example, there will be a full solar eclipse tomorrow. This sentence is contextualizing a prediction and future action. And last one, we have would. We use the modal would when we are stating wish or preferences. Example, I would like to be an astronaut. The writer is stating his wish to be an astronaut. That is why we use the modal would. So please remember the usage of these modals because one modal may change the meaning of the whole sentence. Do you still need more? Let's go. Here are the other examples to make it clear to everyone the usage of each modal verbs. Number 1, I can write essay in 1 hour. Number 2, I could move a mountain for you. Number 1, they both possess ability. Ability to write an essay. We use can because it is realistic to write an essay in just 1 hour. But number 2, it is not realistic to move a mountain. So we cannot use the modal can. Instead, we should use modal could because there is a lesser ability than can. Number 3, in the month of June, we may encounter several storms. In Philippine context, the start of storms starts from month of June. So we use may because it portrays greater possibility that we encounter several storms in month of June. Number 4, I always look at the sky at night, hoping that I might see a shooting star even it is impossible for this moment. As we all know, seeing a shooting star is a rare phenomenon, but there is a possibility in a lesser chance. So we have to use modal might, not modal may. Number 4, shall we begin our space lunch, sir? 5, you should follow safety precautions in witnessing the solar eclipse. Number 6, we must realize that Earth needs protection. In number 4, we use shall because it is a formal way of asking permission in beginning the space launch. Number 5, we use the modal should because it portrays recommendation on how to do or to witness the solar eclipse. And number 6, we use must because there it is a responsibility. It is more on urgency that people must realize that Earth needs protection. Number 8, next month we will see the famous meteor shower. We use modal will because it portrays future action. At the same time, it is a prediction that next month there will be a famous meteor shower. Number 9, if there is a chance, I would like to be an astronaut. We use modal will because it portrays a wish or preferences that if there would be another chance, the writer would like to be an astronaut. Let's have an activity. Find your soul modal. Test your skills in matchmaking. Connect the given modals to its usage. I give you a couple of minutes or you may pause this video to copy and answer this activity. You have to connect the modals to its usage. Okay, you may start answering now. Let us check. Number 1, can and could is used to express ability. Number 2, may to express certainty in a greater chance. Number 3, might. It is used to express certainty in a lesser chance. How about modal shall? To seek for suggestion in a formal way and future action. Number 5, should. To state advice. Number 6, must. To say strong obligation or urgency. How about modal will? It is used to convey promises or future action. And last, number 8, obviously, would is for uttering wish or preferences. I hope that you got almost correct or perfect score. Let's have another activity. Let's have activity number 2, taking care of Earth. In this activity, you have to choose the correct modals in parentheses. Number 1, cut down on what you throw away. People, blank, should or would follow the reduce, reuse, recycle to conserve natural resources. I give you 5 seconds or you may pause this video to answer. Number 1 is should because it portrays advice or recommendation to follow, reduce, reuse, recycle. How about number 2? Volunteer for cleanups in your community. You blank can must get involved in protecting your environment. 5 seconds to answer. Number 2 is can, because it portrays ability to get involved in clean up in your community. Number 3, educate other people. You will or might help others the importance of value of our natural resources. 5 seconds to answer. Number 3 is might, because there is a chance, it is more on possibility, that others may know the value of conserving natural resources. Number 4, conserve water. The less water you use, the less runoff and wastewater shall may get. Shall or may? 5 seconds to answer. Answer is may, because we are portraying possibility that if we conserve water, there would be less runoff and wastewater. Number 5, shop wisely. People would buy less plastic and bring reusable plastic bag. Should or would? 5 seconds to answer. The answer is should, because it portrays advice or recommendation to buy less plastic and bring reusable plastic bag when doing shopping. 6. Use lifelong lasting light bulbs. Energy efficient lit bulbs may or might reduce greenhouse gas emission. May or might. 5 seconds to answer. The answer is modal may, because it portrays greater possibility that if we use lifelong lasting light bulbs, there would be a reduction of greenhouse gas emission. 7. Plant trees. Trees provide food and oxygen. If illegal logging continues, our health must also be affected. Could or must? 5 seconds to answer. The answer is could, because it portrays capability or ability of being affected when there is illegal logging. Number 8, we will choose non-toxic chemicals in the home and office. Must or will? 5 seconds to answer. The answer is must, because it portrays urgency or obligation to choose non-toxic chemicals in home and office. Number 5, bike more, drive less. It blank can shall also boost your physical and mental health. Can or shall? 5 seconds to answer. The answer is modal can, because it portrays ability of boosting our physical and mental health. Number 10, protecting our planet starts with you. Shall we do it together? Will or shall? 5 seconds to answer. The answer is shall, because it is a very formal way of asking in protecting our planet. Activity number 3, how would you act? So class, this is a take-home activity. In our online class, I will ask you regarding what did you do for this activity. Mechanics, create a sentence using appropriate modals in the following scenario. There would be a 10 scenario, then you have to create a sentence in each scenario using appropriate modals. Number 1, asking your girlfriend to be your fiancé. How would you create a sentence asking your girlfriend to be your fiancé? By using appropriate modals. Number 2, asking a friend to dance with you. Number 3, borrowing a book from librarian. Number 4, requesting a favorite song on the radio. Number 5, giving advice to your broken-hearted and fragile friend. So how you give advice? Create a sentence in giving advice to your broken-hearted and fragile friend. Make sure that you use appropriate modals for this one. So next, number 6, cheering up for someone hopeless. 7, saying promise to your inspiration. Number 8, giving command to your staff about going to work on time. So how would you cheer for someone hopeless? How would you say promise to your inspiration? Or how would you give a command to your staff about going to work on time? Create a sentence in each scenario and then use appropriate modals. Number 9, offering support to your friend. And last one, wishing a birthday gift to your parents. Again, the mechanics is examine the scenario. After examining the scenario, you have to create a sentence for each scenario using appropriate modals. So good luck, class. I'm hoping that you got and you think for a very witty sentences. Before we end our lesson for today, let's have a recap. Today, we talk about modal verb. Modal verb, it expresses necessity, uncertainty, possibility, or permission. In our session, we have different modals. Can is used to show ability or general statement about what is possible. And also could. It also shows ability but not certain. General statement about the past. Can and could are used for portraying ability. Could is for lesser certainty. And then for past action. May and might. May is used to express possibility. Also when asking for polite permission. It is expressing possibility in a higher chance or greater chance. Modal may. Modal might is the contrast of modal may, even though they both express possibility, but in a lesser chance of happening in modal might. It is also for a speculation or situation that did not actually happen. So when you assume, and it is in a lesser chance, you have to use modal might. Must. It is used to state obligation or urgency. Shall. It is used in stating future action. Unlike will, shall is for more formal occasion and when you are asking for a formal permission. Should is needed when we are stating command, advice, or recommendation. And will is for stating future action in a casual way and for saying promises. So these are the common modal verbs that we may encounter and then we may use in communication. I hope that you learned something today and you know the differences of each modals so that when you are speaking or writing something, you will use appropriate modals in each scenario. Oh, so that would be the end of our discussion for today. Once again, thank you for watching. Happy learning. I hope that you learned something fruitful today. So before we leave, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video to disseminate information in education for or in the time of new normal. Once again, this is Sir J, your digital English teacher. See you on our next lesson.